What up? It's your boy. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the post-game show. Earlier than we expected, but life happens. And if you're first time to the channel, I'm your boy, Chef Shapino. You can catch me at Chef Shapino on YouTube, page you're at. If you're not subscribed, please, I beg of you, and I don't beg. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit like. Please hit the notification bell as well, and then hit all. All right, that's going to be important because I want you guys to be able to see what's going on. We have 6 viewers in here right now. Let's see what it's looking like. Conversation with King, that was pretty dope. I think that even in that short amount of time, we were able to pick up a couple things. So that was pretty dope. Let me see who's in the room over here. Happy Wednesday, Terry. I see you. The boy ZB. I see you. Quantum Love. You so consistent. Thank you. All right. Where's my boy Vic at? Hold on 1 second. So yeah, talk to me. I'm actually gonna put the link up in here as well. Somebody asked me what I'm having for dinner tonight. I'm gonna be having what you call it, Mama Juana. Not marijuana. Mama Juana. Mama Juana is a Dominican restaurant out here in Atlanta, off the chain. And I'm gonna be ordering something called rabo guisado. Rabo guisado. RABO GUISADO. What is a rabo guisado? It's just a sexy Spanish way for saying oxtails, pretty much. I'm in the oxtail mood. I was in the oxtail and curry goat mood, but the Jamaican spot is closed now, so oxtails it is. What's going on, Ebony? Let me see who's back here. Did y'all get the link? Okay, good. So, any questions, any ideas about, any feedback on today's show? Any topic? Do you think there's anything that we didn't unpack? Do you think that, we just full of shit? You know what I mean? Let's chop it up. Let's talk. Let's talk. I see you, TD. I was just telling them I'm getting some Mama Juanas. I got to. What's up, Natalie? What's going on? Yeah, why don't y'all jump in, man? This is not just for me, this is for you guys. Somebody jump in here. Let's talk mess. Let's get some verbal jousting going. I see you. Stay hungry. Join the StreamYard. Let me see, you got somebody in the chat. Rico! Damn, Rico!
I said, oh no, he ain't.
Damn!
No, I just dipped over for a minute to check on E Black and JP. They're doing well. So I said, let me come on back over here, sir. Great show. Great show tonight. Lot better than the past few. I'll leave it at that. We're not going into detail. And like I said, they said I did say, as I told you and E Black earlier, when you guys do your offline, just to offer some observations. There's never no criticism because I love you, brothers. As I said 1,000 times, I think you, King, E Black, and Daryl are doing an awesome job. You guys are 1,000 times stronger together than you are apart. I love it. But just I speak for the garden, or not for the garden, but from the perspective of the garden. I'm just a rock in the garden, and this is just my view. The other flowers and other rocks may see other things, but I just try to voice it in that manner. Never to say, oh, this is no, because it doesn't work that way. And I fully understand that. And I couldn't do what you guys are doing. That's why I don't have a page. That's why I don't want a page. I don't want that pressure. But what I will say to you and King is, and I only say to you and King because primarily you guys are always at the forefront, that you gentlemen have set a high bar. And as you eloquently say, my savant, when you set a high bar, you set a high standard and you must rise to it. So you can't shrink from it. You can't shrink from, oh, well, why is that? You set a high bar, right, Chef? And if you set that bar that high, I didn't. I didn't tell you had to be that high. You said it. So when we come as an audience, I look to receive that. And you give it to us night in and night out. So you can't give it to me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday. Oh, I had an off night. Oh, no, fuck that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was great. I expect Thursday to be great, and Friday and Saturday. That's the bad part of being so good. When you were so good, you can't be bad. You can't afford to be bad. You're muted.
No, you good.
Okay.
The bar that you're talking about in terms of setting the bar, hell yeah, it makes a lot of sense, man. You always want to be better than the last performance. The thing is, what the pressure part of it, is this thing is actually more organic. This thing is more organic than we expected.
And probably more important than you thought it would be.
Right. So that's the thing, that it's impacted so many people in such a short time. And it's like, damn, but the thing is, the pressure that we have, what's ill is that when King and I, when we start making those moves, and you see the verbal jousting and you see the rabbit holes and all of those things, hey, it's real, and some of it, sometimes we're freestyling and, catching the streams of consciousness in order to build a conversation up.
And that's why the funny thing is, like, I catch on like little certain phrases, like when you threw it out there, like the scaffolding, and it's like, oh yeah, that shit's true, and and I love King's fucking genius is brilliant. But then I also think sometimes that brilliant people have blind spots. We all have blind spots.
Because you're looking at so many places.
You have blind spots, things you don't see. So that's why I sit and said it's like I said, when I brought up the scenario about the 80% and the thing, even when you look to the CDC, and I knew that you would go there because I'm like, yes, that's some hack shit that's not even a CDC website.
I know the one you're talking about. I'm talking about
on there.
Right.
So it's the trope has actually been placed on the CDC, which continues to perpetuate the narrative of falseness. So people say, well, the CDC, like, no, the CDC has no statistics about divorce rates. Zero. That's not even, it's the Centers for Disease Control. That has fucking nothing to do with what they do. They would never in a million years have a statistic about divorce rates. It's not even in their film, their realm.
Now,
But
I
because
gotta push back.
go ahead.
I gotta push back, bro.
Sure.
It is because they have one specific
They do
report about when they do talk about the divorce rates. You get what I'm saying?
Until what year? They
goes
tell
up to
you the year they
2019.
stop reporting it.
2019.
No.
There's
Early.
two reports. There's 2015, and then there's
2015.
the 2019 report. There's more than one report.
The
The 2015 is the one that says they're 80.
And that's when they stop reporting it. And that's true. That's true. That's very true. They used to, and the thing is, the data that they used to report up until that point, it wasn't their data. It was data that was given to them. And again, like I told them, I said, if you look at it, even in the article that you said, what's the operative word? Suggests. Suggests. What does suggest mean? It's a guess. It's a guess. Two-thirds is 66%. Everybody says the majority. I'm like, shit, the majority is 51%. 51% is the majority. So 51, 66, how do we get to 80? All I'm saying is I don't want us to be the purveyors of pushing a false narrative that's been unsubstantiated, because what it does is it pushes a false narrative because it comes out of the manosphere, it comes out of the Negro sphere about black women filing and I'm like, and my thing is, as I always tell them, like, who cares who files? What matters is who effectively initiates it. And that's the things that we always, it's always dismissed. So, every time I hear, and I heard it over the other space where they question, it's like, okay, well, can you show me the evidence where it's 80%? Oh, I'll get it back to you. That's been 6 months ago, and that evidence has never been produced because it doesn't fucking exist. It doesn't exist. The very person that has perpetuated that and pushed that narrative out so that all the men that look like me and you, Chef, who perpetuate that narrative that repeatedly said, he has no evidence of it. So why do you continue to say it? So the funny thing about it was, I heard I was arguing in another space today, I won't name it, and they said the narrative was about women with PhDs. Oh, well, if this person have a PhD, and I'm like, where's the correlation between a woman's education and a woman's marital status? Where's the correlation that the more educated a woman is, the less likely she is to be married? Where's the correlation? We just do we understand what correlation is? Correlation means this makes this happen. This is the reason why this happened. So you guys are saying that the more educated that black women are, the less likely they'll be married. That's no different than me saying that the more that the less likely that a black woman can swim, which we know that the vast majority of people of color don't swim because we're afraid of the water. That I was like, that makes no fucking sense. I can make numbers equal something, but it doesn't make it true.
Now, I've been being rude. I gotta bring somebody up here into the studio to join in for this conversation.
Please do.
It's a very special dude right here, man. Very interesting guy. And he watches the show, he supports. He's supported Cash App, and he literally is an honorable guy. And he literally, when I had my little meltdown, if you wish, he took the time. Dude took the time to sit back and kick it with me on some real OG. And it motivated me. You can learn from anybody. This is somebody that, virtually kind of looks up to me. And he helped me in a way that was so ill. You get what I'm saying? I rock with this dude. We're going to do a couple things. So I just wanted to say that some of y'all know him as this guy. You know what I mean? Or just Vic. But Victor Freeze Music. What's going on, family?
What's going on, my brothers?
Chilling, man.
Feeling all right?
How are you?
This, what do you call it?
Avatar.
Avatar, yes. I love the what was the video game?
That's M
General,
Bison.
That's
yeah,
Bison.
General Bison. Okay, thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah, that's from Street
Street
Fighter.
Fighter.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah, Street Fighter.
I had it commissioned from a guy on Fiverr, and I had to remix it for me. You know what I mean?
Okay,
That's
excellent.
why his
Great
skin is
job.
blue with a beard and some Ray Bans. You feel me?
I've been watching you pop up, but I was like, fuck, where's this guy? This is a video game. I get, I'm getting old, but thank you. Great job. Thank you, sir.
I killed it. Damn, like trying something. So look, Uncle Rico,
Sir.
let
Ooh,
me.
share with me. Share with me, please.
I hear what you're saying about the stats,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like stats can be skewed
Yes, I
in
agree.
their when they're being gathered and when they're being presented.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make them inaccurate. It just means that the person presenting them, the stats are what they are, but the person
Okay.
presenting them is creating the narrative about what those stats mean, and it's how many people accept their view of those stats.
Agree.
Now, I know personally that when we go around, a lot of times people hear stats and no one really doing a bunch of fact checking, period.
Mm-hmm.
And then we regurgitate the things we heard because they sounded official. And now the narrative is spread just like a religion, if you will.
Agree.
And until someone finds a crack or something to disprove it, then it just grows and grows like a fire. And next thing you know, it's self-prophecy.
Agree.
And it turns the narrative. So you could use it in positive ways or a negative way. I
Mm-hmm.
know I felt differently when I heard the stat that there was more black men in college now than were in jail. It
Okay.
literally flipped my whole perspective on what my possibilities were.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, maybe things are getting better. Maybe I do have a chance, and the power in those narratives is very important to the community. So
Yes.
Yeah,
whether the
go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
One of the things is whenever we crunch numbers and we look at numbers, the only thing that's truly guaranteed is just the results of those numbers. So if you see on that paper 3 plus 3 equals 6, it's right over there on that piece of paper. The thing is, some people believe that some people take stats and you can extrapolate the information and extract and extrapolate the information from those stats to say whatever you want. Because why? Correlation does not necessarily mean causation. All
No.
right. So I could pull a bunch of different stats out based on my empirical knowledge and my knowledge just from my proximity. It's not from across the world. And when you're doing a true study, you have a study group and you have the control group. In order to make that study as precise as possible, you have to eliminate any variances from the study group and the control group.
That could cause the result to be different.
I'm going to give you a perfect example, my chef, right? So watch this. If I'm going to be critiquing one style of cooking a steak versus another, and it's ribeye, in order for it to be a precise comparison, one, for me, I would want the ribeye to be cut from the same side of beef. I would
Same
want it
weight,
coming from the same cow, right?
same weight.
Right.
Same fat content, the same marbling. So it's the same, and not even
Mm-hmm.
the other side, the same
Mm-hmm.
side of beef that it came from, so that I would maintain a level of consistency across
Control.
the study and control group, right?
Yes.
Then what I would then do is start paying attention to each of the different little variables to try and make it as consistent as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to be doing it, if it's me talking about my River Grill, Smoker Grill, and then going up against Vic's Weber Grill or what have you, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to make as many of the variables connect as possible.
Yes.
So that information, the marriage rate information, it's going to be negligible because of the fact that
the variables are different.
There's so many variables, and in order for
So
me to
many.
look at something on a clinical side or a scientific side, I need to understand the variables. I need to understand the control group and the study group and how precise that is before I make it my gospel.
And General Bryson, can I just hypothetically, like, are you married?
You asking me?
Yes.
No, sir.
Have you ever been married?
No, sir.
So if you've never been married, you've never been divorced.
That's correct.
All right. Okay. I'm just asking.
I'm just giving you the answer.
I know, but there's no indictment. I just want to say that because there's no indictment. And I've been open and honest and transparent forever that I'm on my third and last marriage, meaning I've been married and divorced twice.
Okay.
In each of the divorces, and I filed for divorce in both instances, I never listed my sex. I never said I was a man or a woman. It's not required.
Right.
So how do they know? It's public information, but I never put down male. It's not asked of you.
I mean, someone could try to find a way to
I'm just
worm out
saying
of that.
And that's what I'm saying is because I know it's perpetuated that way and it's told that way. But tell me in what jurisdiction, when you file for divorce, because what they typically ask you for is plaintiff and defendant. You have same-sex marriages. They do not ask sex.
You're saying there's no delineation, so where did all these numbers
They
come
don't ask sex. So if they don't ask sex, why are we saying 80% of divorces are initiated by women? That's all I'm saying. It may be true. There's no evidence to support that, which is what my issue is.
Let's say that that's true. Let's say it was 50-50 and that was the actual number. To what end would you say that?
I don't put it to no end other than the fact that the perpetuation of that narrative is to paint, in particular in this instance, they didn't even say women. They in the Black manosphere, they make the perpetuation about Black women. They make the perpetuation. The reason why I say they paint that narrative is they paint the narrative that Black women are the primary cause of the destruction of the Black family through the initiation of divorce, dismissing the fact that if, let's say hypothetically, sir, that 80% is true, which I don't believe it to be true. I just think it's just rank bullshit, but I'm going to give it to them. It's true, okay? 80% of the women initiate divorce.
What lens are you talking about?
I don't know.
Can you address that in your answer?
What's that?
He said men suffer more after divorce.
I don't know what that is. No, I don't believe that's true either.
Okay.
I don't believe that's true. I'll tell you why. But let's just say this. Let's stick with where we're at. The premise is 80% of the women initiate divorce. Now let me ask you this: when is a divorce for you? You're married. Pretend you're married. When is a divorce affected to you? Is it when the woman files or when the woman leaves? You're married
when
with
the
your
woman
wife
leaves.
today. Okay, so if she leaves today and she don't file for 3 years, when are you divorced? 3 years later or the day that she leaves?
Until that last piece of paperwork come back, he's still married. Right. Y'all just separated.
Exactly. But effectively, when are you divorced? When did the marriage end effectively?
When she left.
Exactly. So the fact that she filed 3 or 5 years later doesn't make a fucking hill of bean difference to you. She still left your ass 3 years ago, right?
Right.
So my whole point is we put all the emphasis on when a person files a piece of paper, because if the relationship ended, if your woman, if she fucked somebody else 3 years ago, you ain't gonna go, well, we still married 3 years later, and she been fucking this dude for 3 years. You good with that? You
The
good with
question
that?
is,
You still
does she
feel
want to be back in
married
that
to her.
relationship? If that's
You
what you
still
say.
you still feel married to her that she been fucking another dude for 3 years because she ain't filed for divorce.
That piece of paper was never your leverage.
Stop. But my point is, you're still legally married to her, and she
Mm-hmm.
getting her back blowed out for the last 3 years. You good?
Am I good with my chick messing
Or
with
she
another dude?
did to you?
The question is, I'm good with it long as she ain't coming back.
But
I'm good with it as long as she's not coming back.
So she did to you when she stepped out that door and got her
It
back
depends on
blowed.
the woman. Just depends on the woman and the
But that's all.
situation.
That's all I'm saying is
That's why you can't put it in a
but,
vacuum.
but that's what I'm saying. We're talking about effective divorce. The bottom line is, men will sit there and say, "Well, I didn't file the paperwork," and like since I didn't file the paperwork, I didn't do it. But a man will go out. Not you yourself. You could sit there and walk out on your woman and go fuck the woman down the street tomorrow and start blowing her fucking back out, never come back home. And you be like, well, I never divorced you. I'm like, dude, when you went down the street and started fucking the other chick, that was it.
OG,
It's your
this is what I
right.
want you to do.
That's it.
Can you find a way to take what you're saying
Yes, sir.
and I got to think about action steps.
Yes, sir.
And I would like to know, based on however the math is coming together in your head,
Yes, sir.
whatever conspiracy you see happening that needs to be, the narrative needs to be changed. What would you suggest we need to do to move the arrow or the needle to whatever motive you say we should be going towards?
I mean, personally, I think looking at what I think it comes back to we need to be recommitted to the relationships that we get in. If you're in a relationship, you need to be recommitted to that relationship. And I don't mean recommitted to it in name or in paper, but be recommitted to the relationship. Because a marriage doesn't mean a damn thing on paper if you're not committed to it. Okay? That's the problem. Too many people are committed on paper and think, well, I got the paper. I'm married. I'm like, that don't mean you can go and fuck everybody up and down the street. No. If you're not committed to the marriage in that way, then the paper means nothing. We have to be recommitted to that. And
can you repair that? Can you repair that relationship? That's tatted that way.
You can repair it if you put the effort into it. You got to put that. I can't go, or you can't go, oh, I messed around on my wife, I messed up, and I'm gonna keep doing it. It takes the same commitment to repair it that it took to create it. So what effort did you put into creating the marriage? What commitment did you put into creating the marriage? If you're not willing to put that same level of commitment into repairing it, then you're not trying to. You can't go, oh, well, I fucked up and I can't be fixed. No, you have to put that same effort. And my problem is I always challenge men, young men like yourself and everybody else, is that like, look, yes, I 100%.
So would you suggest if you having a terrible marriage is going hard left, would you suggest to get out sooner or later?
I would suggest you either repair it if you can or get the fuck out of it. You got to make a choice. If you can't repair it, don't break that woman. It's not right to break her. If you by all means do everything within your power to repair it. But if it's outside your power, and I understand that every marriage can't be saved. Some relationships come together that should have never been together in the first place. Okay? King Bison, you know that. I've been in relationships that I ain't had no fucking business being in. because we try to force things that should have never existed in the first place. We've
So
done
Rico,
that.
Rico, I'm gonna kind of throw something out there
Yes, sir.
because Linsky, love boy Linsky, Louis Jean, he had put a couple things in there, and it seems as though I'm not really speaking for him, but what I'm taking from it is he believes that it's not a fair situation because what's happening is in terms of fair to the man. If I'm getting what he's saying correctly, he's stating that the system and the way that the system functions, it's unfairly biased towards the woman. Now, I remember you had that thing where you're like, yo, you shoot up the club, you got to buy the club.
Unbiased towards the man.
Right.
Unbiased towards the man.
It's definitely, what he's stating is that it's unbiased towards the man. That's the piece that we haven't unpacked. And one of the reasons is when we talk about the amount of divorces, and even on the show you mentioned, you didn't agree. Here was the thing. You didn't agree with the 80% number that was put out there, right? But you stated, but 90% of the men just leave and don't. You get what I'm saying? So
yes,
now
sir.
you combated something that you considered was skewed or falsified evidence with some other evidence that's not proven. So it almost shows a bias on you, right? And here's the funny part when I say it like that. No, but listen.
No, I'm good.
The funny thing about it is we all have biases. So if I state it shows your bias, you understand it's not an insult.
Yes, sir.
We all lean, in a certain trajectory, right?
Yeah.
I notice you talk bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You talk bullshit. You're about your own personal accountability and taking responsibility. And that whole thing about everything rises and falls on leadership. To some degree, now here's an opinion I'm going to throw in there. I believe that you're so high up on that boss level, everything rises and falls on leadership, that you will also take responsibility for stuff that you shouldn't have to. Because sometimes we fall on the sword. There's a thing in the samurai culture, Japanese culture, called seppuku. Sepeku, seppuku. What that is ritual disembowelment. If I failed, the small version is when the Yakuza take one of your fingers, right?
Okay.
But the real seppuku is when they take their samurai sword, put it in, turn it, and then run it across the front of their stomach. And it disembowels them. And it's literally called seppuku. And that's the term when they say falling on your sword. Bro, you don't have to fall on the sword. The system is skewed. Rico. You get what I'm saying? Every situation doesn't involve the brothers being an asshole.
And you know what? You damn. That's why you my fucking savant. Because you nailed it. You nailed it before. You nailed it again. And you fucking spot on. You fucking nailed me. You put me in the box. You didn't put me in a box that I didn't put myself in. You identified that, look, this is the box where this guy resides in. This is the box where I reside in. I reside in the place of, to me, fatherhood is such a special place that you just have to fucking own it. The system, I agree 1,000% with you, Chef, Just Vic, and anybody else. It's fucking unfair towards father. It's unfair. It was fucking unfair to me. It was fucking. Remember, I told you how I had to fly to Georgia and how they was trying to fuck me sideways, and I had a wife and 5 kids here, and I had to go down there and fight these motherfuckers. They were trying to fuck me sideways, dry with no grease, and they didn't care. Yes.
Up until my son turned 21, I was paying for my kids around
Yeah.
3,500 and
So
3,500 a month.
and I knew that, but I didn't know that, but I dealt with that. The reason why I'll say, and maybe, I'll tell you this. There's a little bit of Chef, I'll be honest with you. There's a little bit of selfishness in me. I'll be honest with you. Just Vic, don't tell your age, but you're younger than 40, right?
Yeah. I'm 37. I didn't say it too many
Okay,
times.
you're younger than
Take it back.
40. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you this, okay. When you get fucking old, you're gonna be a nasty old motherfucker like me, okay? And we be like, fuck it, I suffered, let that young motherfucker suffer too. Just joking, right?
Wait. See, now you're telling the truth. See?
No, right, but no,
That's what we always trying to get to.
Let me just let me tell you, right? All bullshit aside, I don't want you to suffer. But what I'm saying is the reality is there is a little bit of truth in that. So I want to say that. I don't know you personally. Okay, I don't know you personally. I'm not wishing that on you personally. But I sit there and I'm like, okay, we had to endure. And I know people before me, my ancestors before me, had to endure
Rite of passage.
Greater things than I did. So by the same token, they didn't wish it on me. Fuck it, I had to deal with it. Y'all got to deal with it. And the people that you're going to say the same thing about the ones that come behind you. Fuck it, you got to deal with it. I get that. But what I'm saying is,
what part is this you saying that we got to deal with? What part is that?
I'm just saying whatever the system is, whatever the system that you live in your time. Okay. I didn't create it. I didn't vote for the shit. If the system is fucked up against you, it was fucked up against me too. It was fucked up against us both. So what I'm saying is in all fairness, I do believe that the system is unfair against fathers. But I think at the end of the day, I cannot for a second believe that for all the level of unfairness against fathers, right, Chef? Mm-hmm. The burden of the children still primarily resides with the mother. So while we may feel like financially it's unfair, we may feel like, for all these other things, at the end of the day, I have a 30-year-old daughter that has 2 kids with a deadbeat daddy that's somewhere else. I'm like, yeah, that's on her. Fuck it. You decided to, just that whatever. But he's gone. I've never been that way. And I fucking despise that shit. I don't even know the guy. Never laid eyes on him, never seen him. But I hate that, not just because of my daughter, but because of I see so many instances where I'm not, and like for her mother never let me do that. I knocked her mother up. She was like, motherfucker, you gonna pay. She was foot on my motherfucking neck. And I was like, okay. I've never been in a space where anybody that I ever impregnated that did not put their motherfucking foot on my neck. So that's all I've ever known.
Okay.
That's where my perspective comes from, was that, like, as a man, if I come from that shotgun wedding mentality. I didn't have to marry your ass, but I had to take care of my fucking responsibilities. I didn't get you're going to get a pass, or we going to feel sorry for you, or fucking anything. If you shot the fucking club up, you paid for the motherfucking club. That was where my space came from. So I try to push that on my kids, that, like, look, you have to own it, whether you like it or not. And if you don't want to own it, then don't fucking shoot the club up. Wrap your shit up. Don't fucking be with her. Stop fucking with Tatiana. Stop fucking with. But of course, they don't listen. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. And when they do, you take that knot on your fucking. The same way I tell a guy, the same way I tell my kid, like, okay, you hang out with the boys, right? Down at the bodega. And you fucking around and you do some shit that the New York NYPD roll up on your ass and bust your ass. You take the outcome the way it come out.
So what's the action step?
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Let me do
But
this.
you want to deal with the
Do your
fucking
thing, bro.
consequences.
Let me bring I want to bring another voice in here as well.
Yes, sir.
I want to bring
Oh,
another
Mr.
voice in
Abraham.
here. Yeah, man.
Abraham.
Brother Abraham, Dr. Stoic, he got
Yes,
that
Good name,
stare.
brother.
Listen, and he's the one dude. You look at that picture there, that avatar, and then you have him on camera, and he'll
A
be there
man
like
after
this.
my own heart.
And he there like staring through your soul. He be scaring me sometimes. What's up, King? Abraham, you're on mute. Abraham, we not hearing
Unmute,
you.
my brother.
Unmute, Abraham. Let me see what's up. Abraham. Uh-oh.
Oh, Abraham, a G. I want to hear my man. AK on fire.
Yeah, he come back too.
He's gonna come back. He's probably figuring it out.
But just Vic, all BS aside, I don't, it's
We need an action step, because see, we've been talking shit for a long time about is this, is that, it might be this too, but none of that don't get us nowhere. We just talking in a
But
circle.
let me ask you. What's your action step? Let me ask you, for you in your personal space, just you, Vic.
Yeah.
Fuck me, fuck Chef, whatever. You got kids?
I'm raising 4, but I got none.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, real shit, real talk.
Well, I don't got no reason to lie.
No, I'm not saying you lying.
No, I'm just saying, I just how I talk. It don't take it
Because
nowhere.
what I'm sitting there saying is because I want to fucking salute you, and I don't want to salute you if you ain't being real. Because to me, when I hear a brother doing that shit, brother, you fucking shot an arrow to my heart.
That's my action step.
I fight with motherfuckers about that. I'm like, I get so angry, especially about people of our community who feel like they can't raise children that ain't their own. And when you telling me that shit, Chef, you know how me and Willie Dean get down, right?
Yeah.
When you telling me that shit, bruh, that shit is deep to me.
But now here's the
I'll
thing.
give you. Go ahead.
I just want to say this though. The one thing that is important, and even the conversations that I've had with Vic and even prior, one thing that he's always been consistent of was us not just speaking within an echo chamber, allowing opinions in, dissenting opinions that create change, right? But not just that, to integrate an action step so that we're not just sitting around and just talking and smelling the ashes of what was burnt, where we actually are rebuilding and grabbing the hammers and the nails. So I'm thinking that's why he said that was my action step.
He's fucking doing it.
He's lived his life. He's lived his life in a certain way, and he's made certain choices. So who better to be able to, to be able to try and create an action step than someone that can speak to, their journey. Yeah. Am I wrong, Vic?
Nah, you're right.
Yeah. I apologize, sir. I didn't see that. I didn't know, but just hearing that a little bit, I'm like, you live in it. You live in the action stuff. I'm not out here social media because I'm no social media warrior. I live my life. I raise my kids. I raise my grandkids. I've done, community involvement and so on and so forth. But I'm always telling people, like, I even try to tell my kids, get involved, volunteer. Don't think, there are, I grew up without a dad, and I didn't have a father there, and I wish I had. That was the one thing that bothered me the most. And I'm like, be a father, not only to your own children, but to other children. There are so many young Black boys and Black girls out there that need a father. Reach out to the community. Do things like that. So to hear you just say that, I'm like, fuck that. Hands down, you the king.
Nah, I'm just another guy,
no, sir. Stop that shit. Stop that bullshit. I've done it too, and I'm telling you, I'm giving you your fucking flowers. You the fucking king. That
look to you, my brother.
is a huge thing, sir. That is a huge thing from one black man, from one black father to another. That is huge for you to have that level of care and concern. And don't you ever let nobody take that away from you because they fucking can. They fucking can. It's fucking huge. And those children know it. And I fucking know it. And I'm telling you, we all love you for that.
Let me
It
tell you something. Let
fucking
me tell you
matters.
something. Chef was
It
doing chef.
fucking matters.
Chef was doing chef the other day, and he was telling a story about what someone would give sometimes that
Yeah.
from men who have been locked up and haven't heard their children's voices ever. You know what I mean? And things of that nature where a man would give to just hear the pitter patter, children breaking shit and causing terror. And it like hit me a little bit just
It's
because
noise. It's a beautiful noise. It's a
it
beautiful.
hit me because I know exactly what he's talking about.
There's
You know what I
dudes in
mean?
jail that doing bids that they will come home, they'll leave and fall in love with a lady that got 3, 4 kids, and just to hear that beautiful noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you haven't reached a point in your life to understand the concept of beautiful noise of children,
And I struggle with people who can't understand that fucking concept. I swear to God, just 2 minutes, chef, right?
All right, because I definitely got because Abraham got some things to lay out too.
Bring him up, but just 2 seconds. There was a comment where a guy had said in another space and said that his legacy was only his seed. And I was like, so if I adopted a child and raised him as my own, he's not my legacy? I mean, really, so you're saying that your worth as a man, your influence on other people, positive or negative, is not an effect of your legacy. Your legacy only exists to you through DNA and blood.
Right, he's quantifying it as birthright.
Right. So my question is, I'm like, do you know how many great men in this world have lived and died that never bore a seed? That never had children. Are you kidding me? And you trying to tell me they don't have a fucking legacy? Are you serious? Do you understand what legacy is? And that's what I try to get people to understand is legacy is greater than that. Yes, your legacy is your physical DNA and your blood, but it is more than that.
Yeah, before I jump to Abraham, I agree with you. My legacy is more than what's called my progeny in Google.
More than
All right,
Progeny, that's a good word.
it's more than my progeny. It's more than the children that share my genetic makeup. My legacy is not just in people or it's in the people that I've touched,
Right.
the people I've been able to impact. Me being a catalyst in certain situations to
everybody
that big ass ball that's rolling me, giving it a push to roll it in the right direction. The power of the deeds that I've done, the things that I've done to mentor people to cultivate. So my legacy for me is not just the people with my genetics that I leave around. It's way bigger than that. I always say, life is not fair. You know what I mean? You just hope that when the casket dips, you got more W's than L's on your record. And for me, that's what I hope. And then also that my kids know I'm a good man and they can hear it from the people who I've touched. Not for myself, but for them to go on understanding their dad was a good person. And just there's so many people that don't know their dad. That's extremely important. That's a level of peace. That is the kind of thing that will make somebody else a good dad to their kid. So my legacy goes, I totally disagree with that statement about it's just my seed. My legacy is everything. My legacy is the impact that I've left on you. When I first met you, Rico, and you were like, yo, in terms of the way you speak, and you're a father, and you was like, yo, I would let you mentor my son. You get me? And that was so powerful. I told you, I was like, damn, I can hang this shit up right now. And that was enough, So our legacy, even the way that I am and on this thing, I could be doing all kind of crazy shit, rolling blunts and all kind of, when I say it like that, But the thing is, I got a legacy, and I know that I have children, and I know that I have a name, and I have a career and a story to tell. So my legacy is more energy based. It's way more than just, skin, flesh, and bone. It's my acts and the impact that I had on the garden or my ecosystem. But listen, we got my man in the corner like he's on timeout. Big Abraham, what's good, family?
What's good?
I'm please tell me you can hear me.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, great. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather, man. So that's why I'm not all
Turned up.
cammed up.
You good? You good?
Yeah, no, bro, Rico. I'm gonna start by saying that I don't know because this is the second time, and I know you up here, you are Montgomery County, you right outside of DC. Am I correct? Yeah. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
so you from around the way, but you have a jaded opinion about brothers. And because I mean, the last time you said something about, Serena Williams' man approached her right, and he's, it wasn't like brother saying, "Oh, yo, baby, you got a big butt." And I'm just saying that this is like twice now. You have your opinion of brothers is a little bit jaded. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Now with the when it comes to the studies, so yeah, the study I posted, it should have been like 70%. That 80% was an old number, right? And the CDC has links to like several studies. If you go on the CDC page, they have like multiple studies. There's one that's called is a study of cohabitation and marriage, and the other study, the one where we got the 70%, is from the American Sociological Association. Let me see. I don't know if I can share my screen, or if you want me to even share my screen. But you mind if I share my screen, Chef?
Okay.
What did I say today though that was different? I understand the previous show. I
He
understand
mean
what
he
you
mean
said about
bias.
the previous one. Yeah, I understand the previous episode. I did misspeak, and I thought I apologized for that. And if I didn't, I do apologize for the previous show where I misspoke and I spoke a black man in a bad light. And I was wrong. I misspoke. It was a gaffe. But what did I say tonight that reinforced that?
You know what? I apologize, Rico, because maybe you didn't. I was I was downstairs. I was trying to listen as I was,
Okay, that's all. I was
coming
just
up.
asking. I thought I
So
just wanted to know did I say anything tonight that to reinforce that,
no,
but I
I
didn't
thought
think I did.
I actually thought I heard you saying something to the effect that about the numbers, and that most of these men are like going out and they're leaving their women. I'm sorry, man. Maybe I heard you incorrectly because I was trying to come upstairs and set up. So maybe I heard
Okay,
you incorrectly.
okay. I mean, I think you might have misunderstood what I was saying, but I didn't. I
No, no,
didn't say anything negative, but I said I did say some things along the line to address the statistics. But go ahead. But I
no, no,
didn't.
no.
I didn't. I know the first time I did. You were right. Jump in my ass about the first time. I tried to be better this time.
Okay. I apologize because I like I said, you know,
Don't.
but anyway, I know that there are a few people that have a problem with the statistics, right? Because a lot of us have been indoctrinated to believe that men are always at fault. Men are always leaving um, the relationship, or men. And so when you put forth and you say that, hey, you know what? A lot of these divorces are initiated by women. I think people get triggered, and in some cases they may say, well, once they see that the numbers are accurate, they may say, well, it's for a good cause. Now, if you look at the top reasons for divorces in America, you have infidelity, you have finance, and you have irreconcilable differences. Well, the numbers are not that far off. Women are not that far behind in terms of like infidelity, because you have a high number of women who cheat as well. So it's not like when these men are cheating, they're not cheating with other men, they're cheating with women. So women are also guilty of cheating, especially when you look at the high number of what do you call it, paternity fraud, where women are in a relationship and they get pregnant from somebody else and they try to stick the baby on the guy that they were initially with, right? Um, and then you have, finance. But hold on, let me just share this because I know some people are like, give me 1 second. Okay, let me see if I can. So can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Can you see my screen?
No.
Give me 1 second. Okay, so let me hit this. Okay. How about now?
Okay, now I see it. I'm gonna add it. Boom.
Okay, and so yeah, this was the most recent. I know it was like 7 years ago, but it's from the American Sociological Association, and in it, I don't want to read through it because like really my throat hurts right now, but it just goes on to say that 69% of divorces are initiated by women, and that goes back. It goes back more than several decades, ever since they got rid of what do you call that? It's
No
you
fault
know,
divorce.
yeah, no fault divorce. Thank you. Yeah, ever since they got rid of no fault divorce, and so this notion, and
No, ever since you mean
Can I stop
since
you
they
for a
started
second?
no fault divorce, because now
Right.
we're
That's
in
what
the
he means.
time of no fault divorce. Before there was faulted divorce where adultery, would
Right.
cause
Had
right,
to
you
be
to
right, yeah,
lose.
specific.
Right. And
Right.
can I
yeah,
stop you for a second?
Irreconcilable
Now
differences.
it's at will.
yeah.
Just one moment. You said it went back several decades. It was 2009 to 2015. That's 6 years. That's not several decades.
Mhm. You said what?
I'm just the slide you just showed said 2009 to 2015.
Right,
That's
but
a total of 6 years, not
right.
several decades. I
Well,
just
I didn't read the whole thing, but it was in there. I said
okay.
it was. That's why I said I don't feel like reading the whole thing. I can put it back up there if you like.
No. I just wanted. I don't want us to say things like I did earlier when I corrected King to say that when we say things, we perpetuate a narrative that's not substantiated by evidence. So when we say 80%, if it's not 80%, we shouldn't say 80%. That says 69%. People
Right.
don't
So,
say 69%, they say 80%.
so I gotta push
There's a
back.
difference.
I gotta make sure y'all can hear me. I do
I
gotta
hear
push
you.
back also because what I do is there's times when I'm talking to you guys too. I like to go and make sure that I fact check myself, so I correct myself.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham did mention decades, right? I actually went and pulled up the page on no fault divorce, and it actually technically would be decades because some of the data is actually going back to 1979. Stephanie Kuntz, a professor of history at Evergreen State College, states in the years since no fault divorce became high universal, the national divorce rate has fallen from about 23 divorces per 1,000 married couples in 79 to under 17 per 1,000. So some of that data doesn't matter, but in terms of no fault divorce, pretty much California's been a no fault divorce state for a
Right.
long time.
Understood.
Right.
For a long time. So no fault divorce has existed. It's definitely has existed over, several decades. So in terms
Right.
of that piece, we gotta give Abraham that.
But no. But the reality is that the study he cited was 6 years
Right. You're
Right.
talking about the
in black and
CDC,
white.
the American Sociological
Right.
Yes, it
Association.
cited a
Who's the
site
American Sociological Society? I've never
was
heard of
6 years.
Right.
It was 6
But
years.
Rico, you could always go in and look at it. I didn't read the whole thing for you. And that's what I specified. I said, hey, my throat is kind of tight. I'm not going to read. But if you need me to, I can put it back up on the screen and I'll read it again.
No. I saw it. I just didn't want it to be told that this stat substantiates decades when it substantiates a total of 6 years.
Okay.
American Sociological Association is a nonprofit organization dedicated to advancing the discipline and profession of sociology. Founded in December 1905 as the American Sociological Society at Johns Hopkins University by a group of 50 people. The first president of the
From the
association
Roosevelt study.
would be Lester Frank Ward.
Okay.
The Rosenfeld study, which is what he put forth, 2009 to 2015. That's a total of 6 years.
Okay, Chef. I mean, excuse me, Rico.
Yes,
when
sir.
you quote studies, right? When you quote studies,
Yes, sir.
you normally go by the last study that was conducted, right?
The study that you put forth?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because it seems like you're saying that the study is bogus.
No, I'm saying
Okay.
that the author of the study that you put forth said he did a study for 6 years,
Right.
not decades.
That's not what I said. If you listen to what I said that women have been increasingly initiating divorce going back decades. That's what I said. I never said that
Okay.
the study was decades.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair, sir. That's fair.
Yeah. So that's what I said.
I agree. That's fair.
Now I know I'm getting pushed back in the
No, that's fair.
no, I'm saying
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm getting pushed back in the chat a little bit. I think there was
Make your full point, my G. You good?
Yeah. No, so what all I'm saying is, for those people who don't know me, I'm absolutely 100% pro marriage. I've been married for over 21 years, right? And I'm absolutely 100% not knocking anybody who's married to someone that isn't black, but I'm 100% pro black marriage. But I'm also about pro accountability. And this notion that every time something goes wrong, it's the man's fault absolves women, black women, of their responsibility to the situation that we face as well. That's all I'm saying. Right. I know I've known women who have either divorced their husband or wanted to divorce their husband for, I mean, the most trivial of things. And I at least know 2 marriages that I saved because, you know, and without calling anybody's name, where she wanted to leave because she felt like this person wasn't doing enough. She was comparing them to guys that she worked with, but he wasn't there yet. And I'm trying not to say too much. All I'm saying is you have women who will. I'm trying not. I really don't want to be accusatory of our sisters. At the end of the day, I think the problem that we have, more so than finance, more so than infidelity, more so than irreconcilable differences, is communication. And I keep saying that we don't have effective communication between black men and black women. We just don't, right? We end up talking past each other instead of talking to each other. And that's part of the problem. You know, we'll have a conversation and one person will escalate. One person will try to talk over you, right? Which leads into an argument, or you have another person who will either invalidate and let you know that, you know, I mean, you've all heard that saying, you know, who hurt you when you're trying to say, hey, this affects me in this way, or I think this is wrong, and you know, sarcastically, you have some people say, "Well, who hurt you?" Like in almost derisively, you know what I mean? So again, that's the spirit that I was coming from. That hey, you have a lot of women who are initiating divorces. That is not just men just walking out of here, leaving their responsibilities. I had to push back on that a little bit.
Okay,
and
that
was the spirit that I came in.
Right.
Let me say something real quick.
Go ahead.
Abraham just brought a good point about communication being a major cause of the divide in the household, and one of the reasons for several situations to separate more permanently, because they just can't come to any specific terms because they always get caught up in the weeds, as they call it. So take, for example, the discourse you two brothers just had, but you were able to come and settle on a point. But what I feel we do a lot of times is we get stuck in the minutia in the things that are like that sign language that need to be right, and it holds us in a pattern, a circling pattern that won't allow us to get to our destination, even though everybody knows that we want to get to the same destination. So I think between brothers, between family members, as well as in our interpersonal relationships with our lovers or whoever we choose, that we have to be pointed in our conversation. Now, there's two types of conversations: a pointed conversation and a venting. Uh, couldn't say which word, but just the action of venting. So when men come together and they want to talk bad about women, and it's just men in the room, and we can just be let it all hang out, then that's cool, you know. But if we coming together with our sisters to try to come to a solution, we understand that we don't come to vent. We come with a pointed or a logical angle, and we leave the venting for the venting room,
Right.
just to let the air out. Those emotions, you know what I mean? So even the ladies have to leave their emotions out of these kinds of conversations if we want to keep them pointed so we can get to a destination. That's
You
all
know,
I got.
I will say that I'm used to it, and oftentimes, especially with the sisters, if you say something that they disagree with, right, and instead of giving the person the benefit of the doubt and trying to understand where the person's coming from, they make it personal. Like I seen somebody say, "Oh, this is his personal story." Well, I've been married for over 21 years. I don't have any child support. I'm with the mother of my kids. Why would that be my personal story? My thing is that I love my community, and to see um, so many kids being raised without fathers, or in some cases, like women just you know being frustrated where they're not, like, again, because I personally believe it's effective communication, that's the cause that we're talking past each other, and that's the reason why you have people who feel like, hey man, uh we've just our irreconcilable differences, I've outgrown this person. But that's my personal belief, and I'm okay with talking to somebody who I disagree with. I don't make it personal. You will see some people in the chat making it personal because they don't like what I'm saying. And this is what I'm talking about, where I believe in the principle of charity, where you try to understand where the other person is coming from and then deconstruct the argument. But what they're doing is, you're making ad hominem attacks so they can just disregard whatever it is you're saying without truly trying to understand where the person is coming from. Look, I understand. I've experienced that before, and it's all good because at the end of the day, I love my sisters, whether they disagree with me or not, whether they hate me for my position. That's fine. At the end of the day, I want us to get past our recriminations, and saying, hey, it's your fault, it's your fault. But at the end of the day, we all have to take accountability for our role. We can't just keep saying that it's men leaving and men are the ones breaking up the families. I think um, Brother Rico was talking about men having babies, and that's another thing I want to I'd like to address. When a woman gets pregnant, it's true. It's true that a man gave her seed, right? But it doesn't absolve her of her responsibility as well, because at the end of the day, it takes two, right? I mean, sex is consensual, right? If and I've had this conversation with a number of my female friends, because they always say, no, it's the man's fault if the woman got pregnant. It's the man's fault if the woman got pregnant. And I would say to them, like, well, whose responsibility is it to make sure that you're wearing protection so you don't get a disease? And they'll say that it's both people's responsibility. But when it
It
comes
is.
to the kid, they'll only say that it's the man's responsibility. And all I'm saying is, you both have a responsibility to
I,
ensure that you
let's
don't.
unpack that real quick. I'm just giving a quick rewind. Abraham stated, if that's the case, when the man is laying down with the woman and some sort of STD is transmitted, is she absolved of her own personal responsibility to protect herself
Herself.
and that cosmic altar that is her womb?
Protect yourself at all times.
You know, like that's a great question, and it's not even about a right or wrong. It's something for you to think about. Is she
So,
responsible?
but yes, she's 100% responsible. She is
You said
100% responsible.
100%.
Let me finish.
No.
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm just pinning it. I'm pinning that because we're gonna get back.
I'm going to
She's
let you pin
100%.
it. I'm going to let you pin it. She is 100% responsible, and the person who gave it to her is 100% responsible.
Also, yeah.
They are both equally 100% responsible. When she conceives a fucking child, they are both 100% responsible, and nobody gets to walk the fuck away.
Okay.
Full stop.
No, I understand what you're saying, but we're not talking about what's done. I'm not talking about what's done. We're talking about the level of responsibility. Here's what I always say. I always say maybe I'm getting too literal, right?
The level of responsibility.
Pair. Let me go like
Hello, Rico.
Go ahead.
Pair. PER, pair, and then centum. In Latin, it's per 100. Centi, centum, centarum. It's 100. How they gonna both be 100% within? You get what I'm saying? Like, so when I'm saying that,
50,
they should feel. I know what you're talking about. And that's the reason I said I was pinning it. I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is that I'm connecting a couple of things that you were saying, right? So you feel that within themselves, within their soul, I should feel all the level of responsibility. And I get that. That's G shit, and that's a leader talk. But what we're talking about right now, make believe that it's just no other dude for you to talk to, and it's just your daughter. Will you speak to her about her specific responsibilities and what she would need to do to protect herself from those mentioned situations? You feel what I'm saying? Like, because you know, you remind me of some of my boys that I got homeboys that was killers. Okay, and when I say that, and you know, the funniest thing, they look at because they feels like, man, I ain't shit, cuz. You know what I mean? There's folks that feel like that. And the way that they look is because sometimes we tend to judge other folks based on how we feel about ourselves, right? If I'm a thief, okay, and I see you moving a certain way, I'm gonna think you trying to steal my shit. All right? If we judge people by how we move ourselves, and your honesty, dude, you're a good looking dude, man. Okay, you ain't no punk, you ain't no sucker. You're a good looking dude, and you know women will still mess with you even after you get those grades. You know what I'm talking about, Rico. You know you still fighting them demons, man, because they still coming for you. All right, don't play humble with me, bro. So right, you a work in progress.
Hey, you put them on Front Street.
Let me stop you for 1 second.
Blink if somebody else in the room with you.
But everything that every gentleman on this panel feels for their daughter, for everything that you feel for your daughter, that you would say to your daughter, what the fuck would you say to your son? When your son is out there laying seed, what the fuck would you tell your young
That's two different
king?
Conversations.
What would you tell your king? Is it okay for him to bed any and every fucking thing out here on
Absolutely
earth?
not. Can I speak to that, Chef?
No.
Nah. Let's handle it. That's the question, was it?
Stop. Shut the fuck up.
Let's handle it.
Let me finish. He can lay his seed where he wants into completely. You are the grandfather. And walk the fuck away from your future prince and your future king and not give a fuck about it. Are you telling me that that's okay to you?
Where are you getting that from?
That's acceptable to you because you don't know what that seed, your legacy that they speak so proudly of. We speak so proudly of as if everything that comes from our fucking loins is so rich and so special that our sons can just see the fucking earth and not give a fuck where it is, not care for it, not protect it, not love it, not fucking do anything about it. That's what you gentlemen were telling me. That's
Oh, you mad?
bullshit.
Why you
That's
mad?
no, I'm not mad. I'm just saying we have to look at it in perspective fairly. And I understand that it is a woman's responsibility. I beat my daughter to fucking death about it. But I do not absolve my sons of their responsibility
But who's saying
to
that though?
have the same
Nobody said that.
level of respect.
Rico, who
That's
said that though?
projection.
But all I'm saying is we're acting and behaving like that. We're
You
acting
projecting,
and
my
No,
brother.
behaving
what,
like
based on what?
That's the
was said to make
projection
you
that we was
feel
talking
Listen,
about.
here's the
That's
thing,
what I'm
Rico.
saying.
So I'm gonna say this, and I understand where you're coming from, right? The thing is, when it comes down to accountability, and this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion about accountability. When I'm seeking to hold myself accountable, my accountability has to exist within a vacuum. My accountability, but my accountability has to exist within a vacuum. That means that the external factors don't matter. It is I that is responsible in terms of me. If I want to be a G, if I want to be a boss, that's a mindset that I have to take, because what that mindset does is makes me understand that things don't just happen to me. I make shit happen.
You're
So
always in control.
right, with me taking that accountability. So that accountability for me will exist within a vacuum where I put the personal onus of myself on why this took place. This relationship didn't work out because I didn't do this thing. This didn't happen because I didn't do it. But now, that's something that's created. So now, that's why when I brought it to talking about the daughters, right? When you're teaching, and this is an action step. This is an action step.
Okay.
I don't believe in everything that Kevin Samuel says. There's some stuff that he says, hear me out, because he's a human being, right?
All right.
The only time that I'm entertained by him is when you'll see the flowers go on the show that are disrespecting average men.
Mhm.
When there's more average men on the world than above average, right?
Right.
So I like when he level sets, as he calls it, to me, like, oh, you want all of this and that. You don't disrespect. Okay, so let's talk about you. So when that's the part I understand. Some of that accountability for the choices that you've made and the things that you do, if I'm teaching that accountability, it makes them more in control. But if I teach them the accountability and then also start to share the accountability of how somebody else plays a part in that dynamic, then what I'm also doing is alleviating their shoulders with some of that accountability and putting it on some dude who may pop up later on.
So can I ask you a question? When the kings sleep with whores and make bastards, what are the bastards? The king, royal bloodline, sleeps with whores. He has a queen. He sleeps with whores, and he makes bastards. What are the bastards?
You have to elaborate, brother.
The king. I'm the king.
I understand
I
the
have
premise,
a
but the question
queen.
isn't clear.
I have a queen. I fuck the queen, and she has children. They're the prince. But I also sleep with whores, and they
Okay.
have little bastards because she's not a queen. What are the bastards? Are they not my legacy as well? I'm asking you, gentlemen. I'm asking
I
y'all.
mean,
This is just a
technically,
question.
yes, that's your children.
This is a question. So when we're talking about kings and warriors and so on and so forth, do we define it? And that's what I'm asking, because this is the messy world we live in. We don't live in a clean world. We live in a world where many of us fuck whores. I'm not saying all of us. I'm not saying any of us, but I'm saying we live in a messy world. And we like to think of things in a perfect world. Oh, everybody marries the queen and they're going to be happy. And that's not the world that we live in. And we're raising children. And I live in a world that the world I live in is full of little bastards. The world that I live in is full of little bastards. No one says it. No one calls them that. I don't call them that. But they're fucking there. And their fathers are gone because they're gone wherever else. And we have to pick up. And with that's the world that I think I have a problem with, because we don't deal with, and we don't look at, and we don't talk about, and we want to sit there and we talk about relationships. We talk about relationships as if, oh, it's a mother, it's a father, and no one has ever done anything outside of it, and everything is perfect. And we know that, yes, that's true for 20% of us. But what about the fucking 80% that doesn't fit in that bucket, Abraham? That's what I'm talking about. Because
OG, let me holler at you real quick on this.
I love your situation, but I'm saying, you come on, brother. You know that's not all of us.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what premise you getting is all of us.
No,
It's
I'm
like
just saying,
they call it
a
straw man. When you fighting somebody who ain't really fighting you, you just looking like
I'm not fighting
like at something
anybody.
like
I'm just saying,
like ain't
the
nobody
reality.
ain't you making these premises that nobody up here agrees with. You saying it like they came out of our mouth, but they only came out of yours.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I apologize if I did. I apologize if I premised it that way, because I didn't mean it that way, because
Yeah,
it
I
did
don't
not
believe in
come
none of
from
that
you.
shit. So
It did not come from you. I apologize for that. Let me just say that flat out. That did not come from you. But that's the reality that I see. So it did not come from
that's your
you, and it did not
experience
come
and
from
what you've
just Vic.
seen versus the people that are around you in your circle.
I apologize, sir.
No, I'm asking. No, that was a question. I'm saying based on the people and the things that you've seen around you and the people you know, that is a general consensus. What you getting? Just a whole bunch of
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a general consensus in our community. Not
your community.
100%. Not 100%.
That's why I don't do stats, because it's, you know what I'm
Right.
saying. So
I'm not
that's
gonna
that's
say
your community. That's what you
right.
see, and I
That
believe you.
is that right.
But
And
in
I'm
my
being clear
community, it
about
could be completely different. And I've
that.
seen
Right.
a wide
Right. I stand corrected.
a wide array of situations that have
Thank you for
turned from this way to that way, from foster home to valedictorian.
right.
So
I agree. I've seen
you
that too.
can't
Thank
really
you for breaking me
necessarily
out.
close it out. I'll say this, right?
Yes,
When
sir.
me and I got two brothers. When we
Mm-hmm.
grew up, right? My dad
Mm-hmm.
left when I was 2. I don't remember my father in the house,
Okay.
but my brothers do. So they have a whole different perspective from children. They looked at him different than I did. I didn't have any animosity toward him. I was just happy when he actually came. You know what I'm
Really?
saying? But
Okay.
they was like, this nigga left us. So
Okay. I'm
because
not
they
laughing.
remember
I'm
him in the
sorry.
house.
I'm sorry. It just sounds, because I've heard that before. So I don't, please don't take my laughter as laughing at you,
No,
Abraham.
no, no. I know you with me, brother. I would have had this conversation with you if I thought you
I'm
meant
sorry.
malice.
I'm sorry. I don't want to sound
No,
cap.
no, no, man. I'm not sensitive. We men, we can have a conversation, you know?
Okay.
Right.
But I need to apologize to you as a man.
It's okay. I accept it.
Thank
I'm
you.
I'm trying to find out what it is that you disagree with, because I mean some of the things you were saying, I don't recall saying that, and I don't recall just Vic saying that.
It's
Like,
cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. We ain't got to go backwards. We're going forward.
all
But
right.
So
listen,
so
so let's do
so
this
yeah,
because
do that.
we're about to be wrapping this up shortly, right? What I want to do is, and I gave part of my piece, which was the action step. My part of my action step for my children. My son is 22 now. You know, so we had long talks in Vegas. You know, especially as he moved into his 21st year. Yo,
You old
my
motherfucker, chef.
yeah, man. Listen, yo, you know what I'm saying? All right, look,
Nigga eating good,
hey, I'm trying.
looking good.
You know, bro, I have to be as vigilant, especially with my 5-year-old. The beauty of my 5-year-old, she's literally the closest out of my children to me, right? And she's the one that's been there with me from the beginning to now. And She cares for me. Daddy, you okay? You okay? For her, it's going to be important that the information that I provide her is going to be consistent. But I will not trust, and I'm going to use your terms, I will not trust putting my princess's responsibility to her sacred altar of her womb on somebody else's bastards, right? I'm going to make sure that she fully understands that I'm going to coach her in the vacuum of her personal accountability so she understands. So you fuck up, this is going to happen. And it's going to be all your fault because you let that motherfucker catch you slipping. I have to. So my action step is to attempt to undo some of the lack of accountability that has been moved over to our flowers, row or section. Putting more of that accountability on it. Not just that we dudes are assholes that, lay up and spray up and skeet, putting that responsibility on her and making her a more powerful woman. When you give someone accountability, you remember I told you that all the accountability that you take in, that's some G shit. That's a boss. That's leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So it's important that I teach that same thing to my princess. That same level of accountability. It's important that I give her that same level of accountability, family, because she's going to be stronger. She will not feel as though she's going to be subject to wherever this guy lays and what animals he brings back on his dick. Or, you get what I'm saying? If he gets her pregnant or not, she's going to understand that she drives that vaginal ship. And she's responsible for the insurance and everything. She is the king or queen, bless, within that area, because it is her responsibility. Her role is to protect that thing there. We don't protect it. There ain't no chastity belts anymore. Her role is to protect that sacred altar. So my action step is making sure that my princess is going to understand you are in control of that thing there, and you are going to be in control of your demise. And I believe the benefit of that particular action is going to increase empowerment and increase the effectiveness of her decision making. So that's my piece, and I literally came up with that from this conversation that we're having, because Vic, he's on that shit. He's like, yo, so this action piece. And I've been interpreting that. Okay, cool. Action piece. So based on this convo, my action piece is to be more vigilant with my daughter in terms of making sure she understands she controls her stuff.
Let me follow you up, Chef, and just staying with the fucking old heads. I don't believe in the OG because I'm no old gangster. I'm just an old head. Brother AK on fire. Thank you. I'm glad to see you come up. I am absolutely. I remember the last conversation we had. I don't remember in detail, but obviously I know that you were a very thoughtful, genuine, reflective man, and you brought the shit again tonight. You brought it again tonight. And I like and genuinely, you may sit back and think, because we may end up on opposite side of the spectrum no, I respect and value what you say tremendously. You fucking educating me. I'm pushing back against it, but I'm like, damn, I don't want to like this guy, but damn, I like him more and more every time I talk to him. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy part about it. That's what the dialogue does. It's like, damn, I want to be against him, but fuck, I'm good. You're not winning me over, but you're opening my mind to places that I probably would have been closed-minded to, because maybe I was in an echo chamber, or maybe I I didn't get the pushback that you give me. And I want to tell you, I really sincerely appreciate it. It is needed.
Rico, I always believe that steel sharpens steel.
Yeah, it's needed.
Yeah.
It's needed. I'm like, you have made me, every time I've seen you on the channel, I left smarter than when I came.
He kicking that shit.
It's just real. And so, you know, I love and respect you for it. Please don't take anything that I say on a personal basis or offensive.
No.
You know,
never.
I push sharply about my beliefs, my beliefs and my views, but I don't try to push them in a personal way. You've always been respectful, and I've tried to do the same thing in return. If I wasn't, I apologize for it. You know, and I don't say it facetiously.
No, you were good, brother. You were good.
I say it genuinely. And, you know, I don't have any problem with modulating or self-correcting or self-reflecting and looking back on like, look, I could have said this better. This was fucked up, just that, whatever. You know, other than my profanity. Okay, my profanity is my profanity.
Paint it up just a little bit for the sake of the flowers.
Oh, Lord.
Work on it, baby. Work on it.
They took away my monetization.
Okay. Other than my profanity is gonna be my profanity. Okay?
No, Chef, you good. You good after 2 minutes.
Right.
But and the last thing, brother, just Vic. General from the game, Street Fighter, General Bison. General Bison. Okay. Look, man, I love that. Come in hot, heavy, direct, straight to the point. You know, again, I don't land on your side, but I don't need to. You know, I don't want you to land on mine. I'm pushing you on your views. I want you to push back. You convince me I'm wrong, I'll convince you're wrong, and the best man wins. I love it. I love it. I love your point of view. I love the fact that, like, I'm an old head. So call me MLK. I'm not MLK. Don't call me that. Call me of that generation.
Gotcha.
Okay. Don't you ever disrespect MLK by calling me that, because then I'm really gonna cuss you out. But call me of that generation, you old bastard, whatever. That's fine. I'm good with that. You know, call me something, curse word. That's fine. But I like having this conversation with you guys, because these are conversations that, with the exception of a couple of my sons, I don't get to have. I have great conversations with some sons, and I have strange conversations with others. I got kids y'all fucking age. I'm gonna leave it at that. And the same way I'm gonna fight with you motherfuckers, I fight with them.
Which what?
So
back to back?
I'm not your daddy.
Back to
but
back.
I'm gonna fight with you like your daddy. Not your daddy, but of your daddy's age is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So like, this old bastard just like me. There you go. Just look at me that way. How old are you, Just Vic?
37.
I got a 36-year-old son over in Germany.
Sure enough. When last time you called him?
I talked to him today.
That's what's up.
And I called him a mother today. Okay?
Hey, look though. I don't care how hard you cuss him out. Just keep calling him. Just keep calling him.
I talk to him all the time. But
as long as you better in yourself, you'll have something better to tell him next time.
That's the conversation. I tell him, you take care of my grandkids. All right, you little son bitch. I mean, it's love. It's all love.
You ain't never done raising yours.
I'm a father. I was a father, raised my kids, and I was a single father. So remember I told you how that shit connected to me with you, General Bison.
Right to that.
I did motherfucking serious. That 36-year-old son in Germany will tell you from the age of 1, that was me. That's why the shit you do fucking touches me.
Yo.
Fuck all the other shit, because his mama left and I was left with him. That's why it fucking bothers me.
We're gonna have to,
So I'm gonna leave that alone. No.
What I'm saying is that you and I are gonna talk, Rico. We're gonna talk because there's different put it like this.
It's
We're gonna
levels.
plan it for a minute. There's different. Remember, I talk about peeling back layers to the onion.
It's levels.
Just save that shit for another show. We're gonna talk because there's gonna
It's
be
levels.
conversation, and I appreciate the fact
And
straight
I'm
up
gonna
and
have
down.
them.
I saw the level of
Call
emotion.
in one day and talk to you, motherfuckers. It's
I saw the
levels.
look. I saw the
Put that
level
cup
of
down.
emotion. But yo, listen, man. Yo,
It
listen,
hurts my
man.
heart, though.
I got some oxtails. I got some
I love
oxtails
you. I
waiting
love
for the
you,
kid.
General Bison.
Hey, love you back, bro.
I love you for that. I love you for that fatherhood shit. That
So-
shit tears me up.
So Vic,
It does.
Talk to me.
Vic, what's your action step?
I say this. I wanted to answer Rico's point that he was making about what you would tell your son. And I think that's a part of the action step. See, I got 2 boys and 2 girls here. You understand? So I have to always measure my approach. I keep my voice down a lot because I don't handle the little girls the way I handle the little boys. So with that said, I understand that the boys need a different aspect of me than when I present to the girls. They don't need that part. They need a whole nother part that the boys don't need. And I make sure I give it to the boys raw and rugged like it was given to me, because I don't want them to be victims of this new world. But to your point about when your child or grandchild is out there wilding and spreading seed everywhere and acting with reckless abandon, I think that training is what has to happen, because no matter how wild I got, I always came back to my principles. I never let myself get too far because my starting point was way back here. And there was people willing to go way further than I was willing to go. You understand? So as they say, train a child in the way you would have them to go. So what I like to do for young men in general is just don't even have to be nobody that's even related to me, just young men that I encounter. I want to make sure that they understand that they have value, their life has value, and seed is a power and a responsibility. And if you create that life, you are responsible for that life. So to devalue yourself by spreading your seed out all randomly, not knowing which way you're going, what you done brought to one or what you done took from the other one. If when the red pill community says the man is the prize, I don't have to get into those semantics about who's more important or what that, but I understand that you are important, no matter what pecking order you want to put yourself in. And if you value yourself, then you will choose wisely, you will move slowly, and you will be intentional and pointed. And if I can impart enough character, honor, and value, self-value, then I feel like I've done my part. And then it's up for them to make their own mistakes and find their own path and, you know what I mean, create their own relationship with whatever they believe in. But I have to at least give them the foundation. And if I can do that, then that is an action step to me. And I don't have to talk about everything else. I just got to do something, touch the people closest to me. You know, I wouldn't necessarily have done this in a situation perhaps for children that weren't as close to me as this situation is, but I made myself available for that. So I would not allow the people inside my network to fall through the cracks. I won't watch that happen on my watch. So I reorganized my strategy and my plan to encompass them. And I suggest that anybody who calls themselves a Henry or a high value man or a high value anything, to ask yourself, is there somebody who you should also be lifting up as you move up? Is there somebody else you could be, quote unquote, pouring into? Are you centered enough and righteous enough to even pour into somebody else without poisoning them? Because our children learn from our examples. That's why we need those two-party households. That's why you need to stay, because they need to
Bless you.
see what sticking it through looks like. Stick it through. Finish it. It's not always about happiness. It's about that duty, getting the job done. That's why you're supposed to pick a woman who's qualified enough to help you get the job done, who understands her position, her role. With that said, you know what I mean, that's just what I got, you know what I mean, as far as action steps is concerned.
I got you. Abraham, you gave your action step already?
I mean, I pretty much echo same thing that just Vic said, and the only other thing I would add to that is that it's important that when we're raising our kids, that at least I know I've done that with mine, especially my daughters, that they have to understand that it's a cooperative effort. So often young girls are taught to compete with men from kindergarten. Young women are indoctrinated to say, hey, you're just as good as a man, or you're better than a man. Anything a man can do, you can do better. And so that spirit of competition stays with a lot of women. To the point, like, even when they get older, it's like a woman may feel like, I'm not saying all, so I don't want this to be like a blanket generalization, but there's a spirit of competition more so than a spirit of cooperation. And I will leave it there. I won't belabor that point. I'll just say that Chef,
Yes, sir.
I was I was sick, man. I wanted to enjoy your show on the sideline, but when you sent the call, I said, my brother's in the call. I got to come up. So
What it was, because I saw a lot of the back and forth, in the chat. So I wanted to make sure at least you got to speak to it, because this is what this particular post game show is about: unpacking things that may not have been fully unpacked or discussed within the previous, within the conversations with King. Any feedback that you had to deliver, or just any feelings that you want to let out, because sometimes these shows drum up emotion. So this is also giving you an opportunity to be like, man, this is how I felt about that show, man. This was almost an emotional journey. You get what I'm saying? I saw Brother Rico dab the corner of the eyes a couple times. Emotion is beautiful, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's beautiful, because that means that we've navigated beyond the suit of armor, beyond the suit of armor, and now we down into the epidermis. You get what I'm saying? So in the end, that's okay, and that's the beauty of it. So all I got to say.
I appreciate and thank you for coming up, Brother Abraham. I really do. I mean, sincerely, to challenge me, to push back on me, and I know that sometimes I project that. I mean, you're not the first person to tell me. Chef told me to, and he even told me again tonight. I give off this aura of anti-man, and I do.
Yeah,
I do. I recognize it.
No, you're passionate. You're passionate.
And yeah. So what I want to say is, I just want to say that, like, you guys are right to correct me, because sometimes I don't realize, maybe I still am, but I realize that maybe I'm I'm pushing a little too far. And if you guys are not there to push me back, then I would go too far. So I can appreciate that. I just look at it from a standpoint that I come from a space of men to be men, and we just have to suck everything up, even when shit's unfair. And I understand that the new generation is like, look, it's about fairness. And I do think shit should be fair. I hated it when it was unfair against me. but I just could never visualize that it wouldn't be. So I still can't. I still struggle with that. So I appreciate you, Chef, and just Vic saying, "Shut the fuck up. It's 2021. Wake the fuck up." And like, is it? I'm slow. I'm slow with that. So I would probably do it again. And if I do it again, please do not hesitate to come back and pull my fucking coattail and say, yo, bro, you too much with this shit. And vice versa. I'm going to try to make myself a little bit more cognizant about it. Whatever, I'm fucking up the word.
Mm-hmm.
But I probably won't. I'll do my best effort. And if I fail,
come on, son, don't do it like that before you get it out your mouth. Good.
I'm saying if
I probably ain't gonna do that shit, but
if I fail, if I fail at my effort, I expect you guys to correct me.
Hey, Abraham, I appreciate you coming up, bro. I know you're not feeling love, man. Goddamn, I just got up off some bullshit myself. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm just not starting to cam up, man. I've been down, boy, for real. So I appreciate you coming through. Chef, what you want to do about it?
That's right, General Boston.
Listen here, man. Look, this was supposed to be a little 1 hour after joint, and it turned into something special, and I wanted to keep it, and it's allow that organic resonance to keep going. I couldn't just stop it. You feel what I'm saying? So
don't know.
I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all being real. I appreciate y'all being comfortable enough to be emotional. Comfortable enough to get past the suit of armor, get past the epidermis, so we could get to the real thing. So if one person was touched, my job is done here, because that one person will impact multiple others. If we think on that line, it's going to make you more vigilant and wanting to be a positive impact on somebody's life, not just your DNA. So I'm going to thank Big Brother Rico. Damn, Rico. Just Vic, a.k.a. Victor Freeze Music, a.k.a. this guy. All right? And if he owe you money, I ain't see him. And then
okay.
if he owe you money, he's some guy somewhere, right? Abraham, I sincerely appreciate you jumping in. I know you under the weather, you know what I mean? But you weathered the storm. So, listen.
Abraham, be well.
Hey, thank you, bro.
So,
be well.
Please, out of the last 20 people that's in this piece, if you're not subscribed, please click the subscribe button.
You already know.
And hit that bell that says all, so you can know whenever I'm going to throw something on here.
Recipes, Chef.
Share that thing with at least one more other person.
Well,
he need to put recipes up so we can learn how to cook, right?
Some of them dishes are monetized. You feel what I'm
Vic,
saying?
You put some that Narlene shit up there, Just Vic, because I tell you from Narlene's, right?
No, I'm from ATL.
Oh shit! I said you from Narlene's.
Wait up, Vic.
My swing changed sometime.
Yo, you in the A?
You make me good, man. You'll know exactly where I'm from.
Yo, hey, you in the Vic? Vic, you in the A?
Yeah, you know what it is.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Yo, get at me, man. You know I'm in Gwinnett, right?
Say less. You north side, man. That's what it is.
Wait, you in Gwinnett?
I'm Marietta.
Oh, shit. Okay, you in Cobb. Okay.
Yeah, Killer Cobb. Come on back, boy.
I ain't gonna tell y'all I got a child in Atlanta, so I'm not gonna tell you I got a daughter in Atlanta. Fuck both y'all.
Oh, yeah, we know. Yeah.
Hey, don't nobody go try to.
You had a teacher that accountability was talking about.
Yeah, so you won't have to worry about that, see?
Okay. Yo,
I hate both y'all.
Yeah, I know you do. Nah, you hate it's a love-hate. You hate the fact that you love us. That's what it is. But yo, man, it's been real. It's been real kicking it with you fellas. You know what I'm saying? And I want to thank everybody for joining us. We're going to keep this party going and going and going as long as it could go. So thanks for enjoying the ride. And peace, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed evening. And let me go hit the mocktails.
Salute.
I'm out. Peace.